Hello dear YouTube, my name is Ira and this is my little introduction videos. Hopefully there will be more coming, but I always promise this to myself first time when I start posting something online, that it will be forever and in particular order regularly, but sometimes it doesn't work. But anyway, let's start with this first introduction video. So for me it's definitely a little bit of getting out of my comfort zone, making a video about myself, about my experience, my life, because this is what my purpose is right now in the moment, just vlog, talking vlog. And yeah, if I'm talking to some people, I would rather be listening than talking, but things change, and later I will introduce you to the purpose of this all, why this idea came to me and why I tried to record here my introduction video. But first of all, let me introduce you to where you are at and who am I. So, as I told you, my name is Ira and I live in China, Beijing. Today is my normal Sunday, which I'm taking as always slow, but to be honest, I'm taking every day slow. This is just my pace. Yeah. I'm about to do a little bit of painting. Well, in this case it's drawing because I'm working on the sketch. Yeah, and just talk you through who I am. I lived we in China, Beijing, and I lived here for 18 years. Yeah, imagine 18 years. It sounds pretty crazy, but China just has this quality. When you're expat, you are living here, first you count the years, but then very soon they just start flying by and you somehow forget and like, oops, it's already 18 years in China. But I'm really grateful to be able to be here for that long of a time, because it really allowed me to grow as a person, and I do think become more myself. It enabled me or closer to myself, or closer to getting to know the current version of myself. Yeah, it enabled me to do a lot of things that led me to the place where I am. It allowed me to change a lot. It allowed me to finally, I think, become more me. Yeah, so we're still recording. Sorry, it's all new to me, from these cables to the watch. Yeah, we're still recording. Yeah, so yeah, my life been I think interesting, because first of all I got to do different things through the years that I lived here. I worked different jobs, starting as somewhat normal expat. I then moved to being a tour guide, and this was a call of passion because I was really in love with the hidden places in China, which was very hard for people to get to, the people from outside. It was also already the beginning of my spiritual journey, because I was very interested in not even interested, I never had a goal to study or to go somewhere particular to study, but my path started to lead me to the places which often were monasteries and people who practice. So I would see people from different traditions, and then just by the time when my life became a bit crazy, because yeah, constant traveling and seeing gorgeous, beautiful places, getting to know a lot of interesting people. Me, truly being an introvert, at some point I just faced a crazy burnout. Like at one day I woke up and I knew that I cannot do like this job anymore. I really can't. I have nothing to give. And for me it's very difficult to do things that I don't love, and I'm not passionate about. And somewhat luckily for me, it wasn't a favorite, or maybe actually it was a favorite time in China, I don't know. But yeah, luckily for me, it was a time when COVID happened. And so I could turn my life to be more of inner journey other than outer journey. And at least in the beginning, because yeah, in China we had it quite rough and quite crazy, and at least in the beginning I was grateful for this, because I was able to study without leaving my house, without leaving a small room, it was a studio apartment back then, very small. And I continued my yoga studies. Well, before it was more me practicing yoga, going to teachers, learning. At this point, I was going to become a teacher myself and learn how to teach yoga. And this is how I became a yoga teacher. Since then, my studies, they didn't stop, and I don't think that they will at some point, though now with the things that I'm doing currently, I'm quite aware that it's not, even if one really loves this journey of learning new things, of self-discovery, every knowledge that you get, you need to put it into good use. You need to share it with people, because this greediness about the knowledge that you obtain, it's just the same as the greediness that comes, for instance, with relationship to money, and one really have to put everything that you know into service of other people. And this already comes from Vedic astrology, the thing that I'm learning right now. Yeah, and the reason for making this video is actually also about Vedic astrology. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, the journey continues. I was also introduced to other amazing practices, though the more I learn, the more I feel that they are all about the same thing. Everything is about the same, just in a different form, like the same person, but in different clothes. And I've learned Kundalini yoga. I was introduced to amazing technique, like the whole universe of fluidas with Carlos Tao in Bali. And recently, my journey, the parts of my journey, is learning Vedic astrology, which is out of all the things that I was doing in my lifetime, I really do have a feeling that this one really changed the perception of the world in the shortest amount of time. Also, in the moment, I'm learning Satnam Rasayan. It's a healing technique from, or better say, within Kundalini yoga. And this one I think I would also like to speak about later with you on my channel, hopefully. Yeah, and the reason why I'm doing this video is because according to my own birth natal chart, I have to talk. And usually the things that we need to do, they're the most complicated. In my case, this is very true. Also, I should talk preferably about myself, about my life, and this is quite a torture, because if you'll give me an interesting subject, like from the outside world, it will be more familiar for me, thinking about the job that I did as a guide, because I did exactly this. But just talking about my life, it's really something new and challenging. Yeah, and very soon it's quite possible that my life will change quite a bit. Maybe the surroundings will be very, very different, but in the moment, and it's still Beijing, it's still my life here, and I would try to introduce you to the bits and pieces of it. So just to summarize what you might or might not see on this channel, I think that I'm interested currently in the moment, and I would like to talk about their Jyotish astrology, Vedic astrology, which I find very much fascinating and helpful in a lot of ways. Then there is tarot cards, because tarot cards, they are part of my everyday. Then there is different practices, and I don't want it to be strictly channel with yoga tutorials, but some of the practices that I did or I'm doing currently, I really would like to share. I think it will be useful. And then there is art, you know. I never learned how to paint, how to draw, but it's been a big part of my life, creating art for as long as I consciously remember myself, which is after I was 20 years old, sometime there. And currently I like to think that at least I've learned to prioritize making art in my life and not waiting for the perfect timings. I still don't really prioritize showing it to the world, so maybe I can do this on this channel. And recently it's been a lot about, here a little sneak peek to the painting, a lot about Devis, Buddhas. So this is, I hope it will be a green Tara. And just yesterday I finished this Ganesha painting. So those things, but not only those, because my interests or my life always take an unexpected turn, and different things have been manifested in it and through me, but all of those things I hopefully will be present here.